Imagine setting your alarm for 5 hours every single night. Not just once or twice when life demands it, but for 30 consecutive days. No extra hour on the weekend. No sleeping in to recover. Just 5 hours, night after night, as the calendar pages turn and your body keeps score. The idea feels almost heroic in a world that celebrates hustle culture and wears exhaustion like a badge of honor. We've been taught that sleep is for the weak, that the truly ambitious sacrifice rest for success, that those missing 3 hours are time stolen back from the void. But what if those hours aren't wasted at all? What if what your brain does in the dark is the key to everything you are? For decades, society has glorified the sleep-deprived entrepreneur, the student pulling all-nighters, the worker grinding through exhaustion. Thomas Edison famously claimed he needed only 4 hours of sleep, dismissing rest as a primitive waste. Yet history reveals what Edison's myth concealed. He napped constantly, sometimes multiple times a day, secretly reclaiming the sleep his public persona rejected. The truth is, human evolution didn't design us for 5-hour nights. Our ancestors, living in rhythm with sunrise and sunset, naturally slept 7 to 9 hours. Deep within your biology, that ancient pattern still exists, waiting for the darkness it needs to do its work. When you sleep only 5 hours every night for 30 days, you're not just testing your limits. You're stepping into a biological experiment that rewrites your brain chemistry, hormones, and even your personality. What happens isn't immediately obvious. That's the deceptive part. The first morning after a short night, you might feel fine, even accomplished. Coffee helps. Adrenaline kicks in. You convince yourself you're adapting, that your body is learning to need less. But while you're awake chasing productivity, something hidden is happening inside your skull. Your brain is being robbed of its only chance to heal, to clean, to remember. The night shift worker never clocks in, and the damage accumulates in silence. The first night feels manageable. The 30th night reveals the truth. And what unfolds in between is both scientifically astonishing and deeply unsettling. It begins within just hours, in ways you won't recognize until it's already too late. The first week is a masterclass in deception. You wake up on day 2 and realize you survived. The alarm screamed at you after only 5 hours, but here you are, vertical and functional. Coffee tastes better than usual. You check your emails, make your breakfast, and tell yourself this isn't so bad. Your body, clever liar that it is, floods your system with cortisol and adrenaline, stress hormones designed to keep you alert during emergencies. The problem? Your brain now believes every single day is an emergency. This artificial alertness feels like victory. You might even feel proud. You're functioning on 5 hours while others need 8. You're more disciplined, more efficient, more resilient. But underneath that false confidence, a molecule called adenosine is quietly accumulating in your brain. Think of adenosine as sleep pressure, the biological debt that builds with every waking hour. Normally, 8 hours of sleep clears this debt completely, but on 5-hour nights, you're only paying down 60% of what you owe. The remaining 40% carries over to the next day, and the next, stacking like compound interest that never stops growing. By day 3 or 4, you reach for a second cup of coffee, then a third. Caffeine works by blocking adenosine receptors, preventing your brain from sensing how exhausted it truly is. It's like unplugging your car's fuel gauge and pretending the tank is full. The caffeine trick works temporarily, but the sleep debt remains, invisible and growing. Around midweek, something stranger begins. While you're sitting at your desk or watching a screen, your eyes close for 1 to 3 seconds without permission. These microsleep episodes are your brain forcing rest in stolen fragments. You don't remember them happening, which makes them terrifying. If one occurs while you're driving, the consequences can be fatal. What you're also losing night after night is REM sleep, the dream stage where your brain processes emotions and consolidates memories. Missing 40% of your REM means information learned during the day never properly transfers from short-term to long-term storage. You study, you work, you experience, but the overnight filing system never completes its job. By day 7, you've convinced yourself you're adapting. The afternoon energy crash has become routine. The irritability you feel toward loved ones seems justified. The keys you keep forgetting, the conversations where you zone out mid-sentence, these feel like small prices to pay. But your brain is keeping score, and the bill is coming due. While you're congratulating yourself on needing less sleep, deep inside your skull, something alarming is happening to your brain's most important systems. Every night during deep sleep, your brain performs a cleaning job that nothing else can do. Scientists call it the glymphatic system, but think of it as your brain's overnight janitorial crew. While you sleep, fluid washes through your brain tissue, flushing out toxic waste that builds up during the day. This cleaning process only works properly during sleep. When you cut your nights down to 5 hours, this cleanup crew only finishes about 60% of its job. Imagine your city's garbage collectors going on strike for 30 days straight. What happens? Trash piles up on every corner. Streets become unsafe. Disease spreads. This is exactly what happens inside your brain when you skip those crucial cleaning hours. Harmful proteins called beta amyloid and tau start accumulating between your neurons. Scientists at the University of Rochester discovered that insufficient sleep reduces waste clearance by 60%. These same proteins are the hallmarks of Alzheimer's disease. Every night of poor sleep is like making a small deposit in a dementia bank account you never wanted to open. Your hippocampus, the part of your brain that creates and stores memories, begins to physically shrink with chronic sleep loss. Brain scans show measurable differences after just weeks of short sleep. It's like watching a vital organ slowly deflate. The part of your brain responsible for rational thinking, your prefrontal cortex, goes offline first. This is why sleep-deprived people make terrible decisions but feel completely confident they're thinking clearly. It's the same phenomenon that makes drunk drivers believe they're safe to operate a vehicle. Meanwhile, your amygdala, the emotion center deep in your brain, becomes 60% more reactive. Small annoyances feel catastrophic. A minor criticism from a coworker feels like a personal attack. You snap at people you love over things that normally wouldn't bother you. Your reaction time slows to levels equivalent to having a blood alcohol level of 0.08% after just 1 week of 5-hour nights. You're essentially functioning as if you're legally drunk, making decisions about your life, your work, your relationships. Your brain is one of nature's most magnificent creations, but it has one requirement that cannot be negotiated. It must sleep. It must clean itself. It must reorganize the day's information and prepare for tomorrow. And you're denying it, this necessity, every single night. But the brain isn't the only victim of your 5-hour experiment. Your entire body is starting to revolt in ways that will soon become impossible to ignore. By the second and third weeks, your body stops pretending everything is fine. The hormonal systems that regulate your entire existence begin to fail like dominoes falling in sequence. Cortisol, your stress hormone, normally rises in the morning and falls at night. It's meant to spike during emergencies and then retreat. But chronic sleep deprivation convinces your body that the emergency never ends. Cortisol stays elevated 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, flooding your system with a constant state of alarm. This isn't just uncomfortable, it's dangerous. At the same time, 2 other hormones go haywire. Ghrelin, which signals hunger, increases by 15%. Leptin, which signals fullness, drops dramatically. The result is a cruel biological trap. You're constantly hungry and never satisfied. Studies show that sleep-deprived people consume 300 to 500 more calories every day without even realizing it. You reach for chips, cookies, anything that promises quick energy. Your body assumes famine is coming and responds by storing fat more aggressively. Meanwhile, growth hormone, which is released during deep sleep and helps maintain muscle mass, plummets. You're losing muscle and gaining fat simultaneously. Within just 1 week of 5-hour nights, your cells begin resisting insulin, the hormone that regulates blood sugar. Scientists have proven that sleep deprivation can create pre-diabetic glucose levels in otherwise healthy people. It's like watching your metabolism age 30 years in 30 days. But the damage spreads even further. Your immune system, that invisible army protecting you from disease, loses its strength. White blood cell production drops by 30%. Natural killer cells, your body's cancer-fighting warriors, lose 70% of their effectiveness. When researchers tested vaccines on sleep-deprived volunteers, they produced 50% fewer antibodies. You're now vulnerable to every virus, every infection, every threat your body normally defeats without you noticing. Your cardiovascular system suffers too. Blood pressure, which should dip naturally during sleep, remains elevated around the clock. This constant strain on your heart increases heart attack risk by 48% and doubles your stroke risk compared to people sleeping 7 hours. Inflammation markers in your blood, the same ones seen in chronic diseases, skyrocket. It's like watching a city's infrastructure collapse on multiple fronts simultaneously. Roads crumble, power fails, water mains burst. Your body is fighting battles everywhere at once, and it's losing. You're getting sick more often. Your clothes fit tighter. Your heart pounds even at rest. You feel wired, but utterly exhausted. Your body is screaming for help, but you're too tired to hear it. By week 4, you're no longer just tired. You're becoming someone else entirely. The sleep debt you've accumulated is staggering. You're now 60 to 90 hours behind, the equivalent of missing 3 to 4 complete nights of sleep. The common advice about catching up on weekends. It's scientifically impossible when the deprivation is this chronic and this deep. Some of the damage you've inflicted may now be permanent, written into your biology in ways that time cannot fully erase. Your brain has begun forcing sleep without your permission. These microsleep episodes, lasting anywhere from 3 to 30 seconds, happen involuntarily throughout your day. You might be sitting in a meeting when your consciousness simply blinks out. You might be driving when your brain commandeers control and shuts down. Over 100,000 car crashes occur yearly from drowsy driving, a threat more dangerous than drunk driving because you cannot predict when your brain will betray you. The terrifying part? You don't remember these episodes. Your brain erases the memory of its own temporary shutdown, leaving you with false confidence that you're still in control. Psychologically, you're deteriorating in ways that feel like losing your mind. The risk of depression triples with chronic sleep deprivation. Pre-existing anxiety becomes unmanageable, spiraling into paranoia where minor annoyances feel catastrophic. Your irritability has transformed into something darker. People around you notice you're different, that something fundamental has changed. In extreme cases, the sleep-deprived brain begins generating hallucinations, false perceptions, created by a mind desperate for the dream state it's been denied. Research shows a strong correlation between sleep deprivation and suicidal ideation. The thoughts that enter your head frighten you. Your working memory collapses. You can't hold information for even seconds. You struggle to find words mid-sentence. Your speech slurring as if you've been drinking. Physical coordination fails. You drop things, stumble, misjudge distances. time itself warps. Hours feel like minutes, or stretch into eternities. Brain imaging studies reveal the horrifying truth. Chronic sleep deprivation physically changes brain structure. Gray matter volume decreases in key regions. Telomeres, the protective caps on your chromosomes, shorten dramatically, accelerating cellular aging. Over 700 genes alter their expression patterns. You're not just tired. You're aging at 1.5 times normal speed. Your effective IQ has dropped 10 to 15 points. Your relationships suffer as irritability destroys empathy. Work performance tanks as cognition fails. You've had terrifying moments nodding off behind the wheel. You feel like a stranger inhabiting your own body, thinking thoughts that don't feel like yours. Sleep deprivation is literally classified as a form of torture, a war crime banned by international law. And you've been inflicting it on yourself for 30 consecutive days. So after 30 days of 5-hour nights, here's the truth that sleep science won't let us ignore. Humans cannot adapt to insufficient sleep. Evolution has tested every possibility across millions of years, and no mammal has ever evolved past the need for rest. There exists a rare genetic disease called fatal familial insomnia, where people lose the ability to sleep. Without exception, they die within months. Sleep is as non-negotiable as breathing. The myth of the natural short sleeper persists, but the gene variant that permits thriving on less than 6 hours exists in less than 1% of the population. You almost certainly don't have it. Even military studies on elite soldiers prove that everyone eventually breaks down without adequate sleep. But here's the hope hidden within the damage. Most of what you've done to yourself is reversible if you prioritize sleep restoration starting now. Cognitive functions like memory, focus, and decision-making bounce back within days of returning to proper sleep. Physical healing follows. Hormones rebalance, immune systems rebound within 1 to 2 weeks. The catch is that some changes take months to fully reverse, and certain brain structure alterations may persist. Sleep debt repayment isn't simple. You'll need multiple nights of extended sleep, and even then, complete recovery demands patience. Your exhausted body struggles to give. Before electricity transformed human existence, our ancestors naturally slept 8 to 9 hours each night. Traditional societies honored sleep as sacred time, understanding instinctively what science now proves with data. We evolved to spend 1/3 of our existence unconscious because that dormant state is where life actually happens. The cellular repair, the memory consolidation, the emotional regulation, the immune defense, all of it requires darkness and stillness. Modern culture's arrogance lies in believing we can outsmart millions of years of biological necessity. Sleep isn't weakness or wasted time. It's the maintenance program that keeps consciousness itself running. To be fully awake, you must fully sleep. Those 3 extra hours you gained by sleeping only 5, you spent them in a diminished state, making poor decisions, damaging your health, aging faster. The real productivity, the genuine efficiency, comes from proper rest that makes every waking hour sharper and stronger. 30 days of 5-hour nights isn't a lifestyle experiment. It's slow suicide dressed up as ambition. Your brain, your health, your very life depend on those hours you once called wasted. Sleep isn't optional. It's the price of being human. So if this made you rethink your relationship with rest, leave a comment below. Have you experienced chronic sleep deprivation? And please prioritize sleep tonight. Your body will thank you tomorrow.